Hi, this is Dr. Burns,
My name is Dana Langford.
My name is Dr. Dominic Sportelli.
and this is stuff
No one
talks about.
It's like this ebb and flow through this period of time where your body is just changing.
At the time, I actually didn't realize that I was going through menopause. And I think that was one of the challenges, is that I had no idea. Nobody could kind of give me a definitive answer that the symptoms that I was having are actually the menopause.
I went to 18 different doctors, 2 world-renowned medical facilities, and still no one mentioned nutrition, nor did they mention menopause.
I couldn't function. The symptoms were just not your typical symptoms that you hear about all the time of the hot flushes and the night sweats. I did have those to an extent, but they weren't my main problem. The brain fog and the headaches and vision loss, a lot of the head symptoms were and are still my main issue.
I had a ton of the brain fog as well, and it's still a part of who I am every day, and it's super, super frustrating. I'm not being able to sleep at night, twitching in my eyes, migraines, vertigo, auras, numbness in my hands and feet. It's a lot for a woman to go through.
What I personally would like to see is that when a woman starts coming into her 40s, that her hormones are checked, and that, they're made more aware that symptoms that they may start having, or if they start feeling a little bit off, just having the back of your mind, is this the beginning of the menopause? Because I think that the more awareness and information women have as they start getting into that age group, the better.
I love the fact that you said that you didn't realize that it was actually menopause, because I thought I was the only person that didn't. I'm like, what the heck? What's going on?
Having conversations with your girlfriends that are of similar ages and to see what experiences they're having, that really helps. I think there's just something comforting in knowing that you're not the only one, because when you feel alone and like you're the only person going through some of these things, it's really hard. But I think one of the other things that really helped me as well was going beyond my GP and finding private help. If you feel like you're not really getting anywhere with your own doctor, they're not really listening to you, then seek help elsewhere. Because the help is out there.
Shh. It's one of those things that no one ever talks about. You would think that going to medical school, I was really versed in midlife and menopause and perimenopause, but I'm going to tell you the truth. There's a whole generation of doctors that did not receive the in-depth knowledge that we needed. No one ever talks about that 25% of women in perimenopause will have such severe musculoskeletal pain that they really can't do their activities of daily living. You would not believe the relief on the faces of the people that I talk to when I say to them simply, you are not falling apart. Your hormones are fluctuating. And what we really need to do is focus on how to stabilize those, or frankly, replace them. You just need to know that this is part of the perimenopause cycle, that there are things we can do about it, and you must ask the questions. And if you don't find a clinician that can answer those questions, keep looking, keep asking, because you are not falling apart and you are not crazy.
Shh. Everybody's like, oh, menopause, hormones are horrible. It's perimenopause where the problems can start. Menopause is an acceptable diagnosis at age 45. But before we get to menopause, there's what's called perimenopause. Roughly 7 to 10 years before the ovaries quit, that's what menopause is, stopping ovulation. This is when periods can start to get irregular. Maybe your cycle's getting longer, maybe it's getting a little bit shorter. When we get into that late phase perimenopause, that's the 12-month sprint to your final period. This is where we definitely can start to notice the brain fog, the hot flashes, the anxiety really starting to amp up. This is a stage in life where women are more likely to be prescribed some kind of mood altering medication, antidepressant, anti-anxiety medication, because our mood is starting to be affected. In this late stage, we got to think about using progesterone therapy, because progesterone isn't just about helping with, the periods. It's also about your mood, your anxiety, still feeling connected to people in your family. It is something that has been underutilized as we now look back retroactively in women's medicine. You don't have a period for 12 consecutive months. Welcome to menopause. The next day, you're postmenopausal. One of the big myths that I'm really seeing come up more and more, I really think we need to ditch in this society, is the concept that perimenopause should be hormonal hell and menopause is a game over losing situation. There's many things that you can do to not just mitigate perimenopausal symptoms, but also things that you can do so that you thrive. Even while hormones are declining, we can work to support the body naturally to transition, and we can always pull in hormone replacement therapy if needed. But as I'm talking about this, another big myth is that once you're in menopause, you're no longer going to be sexual. You're not going to be interested in sex. I really hate that. And I will say to anyone, wherever you are in your journey, I have heard time and again how much better sex gets in menopause. And a big reason is there's no longer this concern for an unintended pregnancy. You no longer have to worry about that. And that is something that can release, what is called a sexual inhibitor or a break, and really help you embrace your sexuality even more. It can really be a wonderful time in a woman's life that really flies in the face of what society tells us or what it even shows us.